it's a lot more about building a story around your business and what you do.
There's always this debate, like, do I pick up the phone after 5 o'clock? Because once I do that once, he always wants to call me at like 4 o'clock on a Sunday to talk about his idea.
Is this an AI receptionist?
AI receptionist is a good kind of way I think a lot of people would understand it. That chat functionality can also be deployed not only through like text messaging, but on Facebook, on Instagram. I feel like in the last probably 4 to 6 months, it's kind of really turned a corner.
How does one go about becoming an AI developer?
Well, that's interesting. Squirrel.
I want to talk to a person. You're not listening.
Welcome to the best marketing podcast ever. I'm Rebel Risty with Rebel Labs and my partner, Rob.
With Max Lugs Media.
And we're here with Catherine DeSoto with Abundance Digital
Services.
Digital Services. Thank you. Well, welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Right on. We're real excited to talk to you, Catherine. So I just met Catherine fairly recently. She just has wandered into my sphere of influence and shown up at all the things that I go to. So that was cool, which gave us a chance to get to know each other a little bit. I'm very glad to have met you. For our audience, I think that you have such a fantastic, interesting background, and you kind of, got to experience a lot of different interesting little things in life as you kind of, found your path. So, love if you could just tell your audience a little bit about kind of who you are and where you're from, and how you got here, and then we'll get on to talking about marketing and AI and business.
Yeah, sure, sounds great. So, I was born in Northern California, grew up down here in Southern California. I moved down here when I was about 6. Grew up here, went to high school here, and got a job as a flight attendant. 17 years ago, tomorrow is my 17-year anniversary.
And right out of high school?
No.
Okay.
No, okay. I'm older than that.
Okay. I was being nice.
I mean, yes. No, so I started a job as a flight attendant, moved to, all over the place, lived on the East Coast for a little bit. I was there probably 12, 13 years total. Bulk of that in Boston, which is a city I completely adore, except
it is a great
in the winter.
City. Oh, yeah.
No, coming from Southern California, I tell people all the time, you get spoiled living here. Obviously, it's really hard to live anywhere else.
Your blood definitely thins out here.
That Northeast winter, it's a killer. So, I've moved back here to Carlsbad 2 years ago. And I'm just so happy to be home, kind of digging in, getting to know people. And in that time, I started a photography business. So I've had my photography business for 10 years now. I do family and newborn photography, primarily branding, things like that. And so I've kind of interspersed that with the job as a flight attendant. I travel a lot, so I'm home for a bit, gone for a bit, home for a bit. So I kind of just am able to schedule it around my flight attendant job.
So you're still flying.
So I'm still flying.
Doing photography.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So after 10 years of working my photography business, I kind of moved into the marketing because I'd done it for my own business for so long. I started kind of help my sister. She runs a Montessori preschool out of state, and just kind of worked my way into doing some of those things. And so it's kind of just come this very diverse background, like Rob says. I do a lot of things, but they're all things that I love and enjoy. And my favorite thing about it is networking. Like, I love networking and meeting new people, and kind of just in that getting to know my neighbors here in Carlsbad, Encinitas, like the area. I try and work primarily with local businesses too. So I definitely, I just enjoy being here. And
you just like to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
do you not sleep?
I mean, I don't have kids, so I feel like I feel like if I did, I obviously probably wouldn't bite off quite so much as I have. But I do enjoy being busy. I like having multiple things I'm working on. It just, my brain kind of does that. I don't know if it's ADHD or what. It kind of does that, going from one thing to another. Yeah. So, I like having, different irons in the fire, if you will.
Well, keep it interesting.
Yeah. Flying kind of breaks it up. So that's just really fun. I get to travel. and I've been
So do you
all
fly
over the
between
world.
here and Boston now, or do you?
So
have a
no,
different
I'm
route?
still based in Boston. So I actually
Really?
have to fly to Boston to start all my work trips
Oh my
every time I go to
gosh.
work. So
Oh, wow.
gosh.
I
Yikes.
spend, sorry, I'm losing my headphones here. I spend about half the month on the East Coast and
Okay.
half the month on the West Coast. So
Wow.
Yikes.
bi-coastal
Oh my gosh.
life happening.
Wow.
So,
How does that work out with your scheduling for your other businesses, though? I mean, that must be a chore.
I mean, it is. I kind of just have to slot things in where I can. And I usually, while I'm on the East Coast working, flying, I'll have like little, spaces of time if I need to take a call or do a demo or something like that with a client. So, I mean, I just make it happen. It's kind of the name of my game. Just make it happen. So.
Tell me a little bit about your photography business, and I'm interested. I want to hear about all the family stuff, but I'm interested in hearing about your take on like branding and branded photography
Yeah.
because I see that thrown around a lot, and I feel like some of the people that use the word aren't really certain what they're saying or what it means. So
Yeah.
I'd love to
Are
kind
you
of hear.
trying to call me out?
No, not at all.
I'm just kidding.
Not at all. It's just something that I've observed. You know.
Well, I mean, there's a big distinction, obviously, when a lot of people think headshots are branding photos,
Right.
and they're really not.
Yes.
It's its own kind of category. Has a very specific use case usually, and I think for branding, it's a lot more about building a story around your business and what you do. So for me, I try and work mostly with clients who are usually solopreneurs most of the time, or they may have a small team or contractors that work with them. And I really try and create a experience for them to be able to pull out who they really are and the why behind what they do. Because, you get a lot of, say, like coaches and, people who do a lot of work with their clients. And there's a story there, there's a story into how they got to do what they do. Just like, marketing my photography business pulled me into the marketing space for myself. It's like part of the story, right? And so I approach it in a very kind of, I don't know what the word would be, but a sort of, building a story, like storyboard and having kind of ideas of different sets or different moods that we're trying to capture, different stories we're trying to tell, some of them about their business, the work they do, some of them about them personally. So if they love a mentor of mine, she loves margaritas. So in one of her branding photos, it's her in a kitchen, kind of making a margarita or, looks like she's making a margarita or drinking a margarita by the pool and things like that. It's part of who she is as a person. But, one of the things I think we're seeing a lot with a lot of, the entrepreneurs and kind of building these businesses that are more of a personal brand, right? Is that people don't just buy what you do, they buy who you are.
Absolutely.
And so I think the
100%.
branding photography kind of leads right into that, building a sort of a story around who you are and bringing that to your clients or your potential clients in a marketing sense. So
I love that.
So it reminds
did
me
I
of the
get
old,
it right?
I think you did. So it's like the old adage, a picture can speak 1,000 words. You get to decide what those words are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
and there's a whole
absolutely.
exercise I go through with the clients before we even start to really plan to bring out all those stories. What do we want to tell? What do we want to showcase? And so that's a whole part of the experience of working with me on branding, is that there's kind of mechanisms to be able to pull that out and to isolate it and to figure out how we're going to portray that. Are we going to rent a house to kind of shoot in? Are we going to do it in their office? Are we going to, all those kinds of things. So.
I always end up in Palm Springs for some reason for these things. They want that mid-century modern look.
Yeah, right? That's super popular.
I love it.
Yeah.
And then what do they do with these photos?
Yeah, so they can do, there's a lot you can do with branding photos, actually. Social media is like a primary target for these things. Obviously, they want to represent their brands on social media and kind of building that presence. So that's a huge part of it. A lot of them, if they do any printed materials, they use those there.
Yeah, that was the first thing that popped into my head is like this picture of these guys in a magazine, and then I have to stop and say, wait a minute, they don't make those anymore.
Maybe an online magazine, but yeah. I mean, social media is really kind of the main way that they use those. Yeah, because it's just such a prevalent way to present your brand now. So, yep.
Right on. Cool. And so that's part of the marketing services that you offer, I would say, or you keep that separate?
I mean, I kept it separate for now. I mean, it's something that I can talk to my clients who I'm working on marketing stuff with. If that's something that they need, I'll say, oh, well, I actually run a photography brand as well, and we do branding. If you want to talk about
value
that,
stack a little bit.
I mean, it's kind of a cross service, right?
Sure.
I mean, in all of my businesses, my main thing is the service that I'm providing. You know, I can do a function for them, create something for them, but the process in which we do that is also really important, because I think not only are these brands trying to create an experience for their customers, but I do the same for them, right? Because they're my customers.
Yeah.
So then I'm trying to create an experience for them based on, creating whatever it is, whether it's marketing strategies or photography. Same thing with the families and newborns and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's a whole process to it that kind of brings it that service, that experience that they have. So
I love it.
Yeah.
And then with your marketing services, is there an area that you focus on? Or
yeah, so I'm an AI girl. I've done traditional marketing. I can do, running ads and all that kind of stuff. And I do that. But I think one of the things that I've kind of honed in on, and especially as a photographer, as a business owner myself, is that the place I leave the most on the table is not just getting myself in front of the clients, but it's when they call me, because I'm very busy. I could be on a plane. I could be sleeping. I could be, time differences, all those things. And so something that I've really kind of honed in on is helping businesses, be the first ones that people are able to get a hold of.
Okay.
So say, for example, if you're looking for a roofer, some shingles came off your house and you're looking for a roofer. So you pull up Google and you say roofers near me, or whatever your keywords are, right?
Sure.
Keyword research, whatever those keywords are, and you come up with a list on Google, right? Well, most people probably just start at the top.
Yep.
They may look at a couple little indicators in there, but they're going to basically start somewhere on the list, call the number, or reach out in whatever way, whether that's a contact form or phone call. And if that person doesn't pick up, the next thing they do is go to the next person on the list, right? So they talk about it a lot in like home services industries and really any service-based business, that speed to lead, right? It's really important that if you're not answering those calls when people call for your services, it's likely that you are not going to have that person as a customer. So that's kind of where I focus my energy, and I use AI to either answer phone calls, to follow up. That's another huge thing, is if you're not answering the phone, but you're not following up.
Right.
And so if we can build a way for the AI to follow up for the client, then they're getting, even 20% more business every month, then, they're making more money. So they're happy. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So is this an AI receptionist? Is that the right term?
So I mean, AI receptionist is a good kind of way I think a lot of people would understand it, but you can deploy it in multiple ways. So you can use it actually as an actual voice receptionist. So someone calls a phone number, the AI picks up. You may know it's AI, you may not. Sometimes you can tell. Some people can tell. Others have no idea. The back end of the AI is obviously where all the magic happens, right?
Yeah.
Because if the prompting is not good, if what we've built on the back end to mimic your business specifically, how you talk to your customers, what your services are, what your hours are, all of that is built into the AI. So it's answering these questions in real time with the information that we've given it. And then it's able to have a conversation, book an appointment, perhaps like a consultation or a phone call, whatever that looks like for that particular business. The AI also has a chat function. So we could use it as a text back sort of, but with the AI component. So being able to actually have an in real time conversation with someone who's texting, and then they almost never have any idea that it's AI.
Yeah, right.
Because there's no like audio cues to it. So
no pause,
right? No pause
weird,
or no like anything like that. So and that chat functionality can also be deployed not only through like text messaging, traditional like SMS messaging, but on Facebook, on Instagram. So if you're running ads, it's a fantastic way to capture those leads and get appointments booked on your calendar right when people are thinking about it. Because we all know if you've seen an ad for something, you're like, oh, that's interesting. Squirrel.
Yeah.
Right. Something happens. Or either something else comes up on the feed, a notification pops up on your phone. We get distracted so easily. And that's where the AI would be able to grab that information. If we can get them to fill out the form and engage, it can then keep that conversation going in a way that keeps the client engaged. And that not only helps you to capture their attention, but it also starts to build a rapport, right? So then once they actually do get on the calendar to talk to you, they're kind of more, they're not really a cold lead anymore. They're kind of a warmish lead. Right? They've had some experience with your company. So it's a really phenomenal way to really pick up all of those leads that get lost in that busyness of life, right? Because if you're at home having dinner with your family and you run a, say, again, roofing company, you are very inclined to try and answer the phone if you can, but then you're trading time with your family for that. So this just really kind of fills that gap. Some people choose to only have it on after hours and on weekends because they have a staff of human receptionists that worked for their company and they want to keep that face-to-face customer.
Makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So it can kind of be molded and done to what the actual business's needs are. So yeah, very handy.
And now, is that who you mostly work with? Is like roofers?
Yeah, a lot of home services businesses have a couple like financial, that just basically books appointments. With AI, you do have to be careful. And especially in the state of California, there's a lot of regulations on certain industries, right? So obviously medical, HIPAA, all that kind of stuff. So there are places we have to be a little bit more careful. Obviously for like a home services business or a service-based business like that, there's no like legal, things we have to be careful of. But yeah, so you can use it for pretty much any business that gets calls, gets leads, gets clients that way.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's, wow. So what's interesting to me is how does one go about becoming an AI developer or having a product like this? Did you hire developers that created for you? Is it something that's like different off the shelf things that you put together to make it work?
It really depends on the level of complexity that's needed. I feel like I have a pretty good handle on getting the prompts right. We obviously go through a period of testing it where we watch really closely how the AI is responding. The business owner can then make any adjustments that they need, like, oh, I'd rather it not say that. Can it say this? We kind of try and teach it if there's anything specific that comes up. But I think for, bigger, more complex builds, I probably would involve a team member, a tech person that would kind of be able to do that. Mostly for me because of the time it would involve in getting that exactly right. So yeah, it's just a combination. I don't have anybody that works maybe full time at this point, but it's just kind of a learning to prompt the AI correctly is really kind of the biggest thing.
Interesting.
And how do you, so when you say learning to, is it that you have to customize it for every client you're working
Yeah.
with?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, everything is completely custom because each business, not only do they have, different services they offer, level of service and things like that, but they also speak to their clients differently. So, we talked about branding and
Brand
and
voice.
those things, right? Your brand voice, exactly. They speak to their clients in a little bit of a different way. Some may be super casual and friendly. Some may want to come across a little bit more professional and not have that kind of level of familiarity with their clients. They want
Yeah.
to be a little bit more, in their wording as well. So everything is completely custom to each business. Some of them have similar components, like a roofer offers usually pretty similar services to the next roofer. There may be some things they do that they don't, but generally that part kind of carries
Right.
over. But each one is built completely independently for each
Okay.
individual business. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what would you say, like, how many hours a week are you helping save your clients by doing this?
Oh, man. I mean, I think it really it depends on the way that they're deploying it, but I'd say for the average business, I mean, they're, saving time, yeah, probably, 3-5 hours of doing the phone back and forth, the follow up, because, if that person's moved on, they may not answer the call. They're trying to, if they have a good follow up process, which is, there's a small percentage of businesses, myself included, like it's hard to keep up with all that stuff
Yeah.
when you're trying to just remember, or even if you have some kind of a system you use. But the average business, I think, where they really see the benefit of it is that they're gaining clients that they would have lost.
Got it.
So the revenue obviously is a big indicator for us. So depending on what their average ticket price is, they could be making anywhere from an extra, $2,000 to $50,000 just from what the AI is
Right.
catching that
Wow.
they wouldn't have normally caught.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, I mean, it really depends on, if you're talking about, like, say, again, a home services business and their average ticket is $2,000, say they're running ads and they're getting 50 leads a month.
Yeah.
But they only actually talk to 10 or 20 of them. 30
Yeah.
people are getting, through,
Wow.
right? So instead of losing those 30 people, we can then pull those in, start the follow-up with them, and not let them go to the next person. Then if we're able to turn one or two of those into a job, then they're making another $2,000, $4,000, $6,000 a month.
Yeah.
Just from that follow-up being.
So does the AI just like answer some questions and is just capturing information, or can it go all the way to like generate a quote and email it to the person, or what's the kind of limit right now?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what kind of integrations you would use. There are ways to kind of integrate other, like, CRMs that will generate some kind of a quote. I don't usually do like huge integrations like that for me, because a lot of the clients I work with, they want to build a relationship with their potential customers, right? It's part of the service that they offer is they want to be able to actually talk to them. So
Yeah.
a lot of the deployments I do are for the AI to get their contact information, answer any questions, and then book them on an appointment.
Okay.
So they're booking them either a consultation, they're booking to come out and look at the problem that they have. To, see
Right.
what, and then they can develop a quote from there.
So it's booking like somebody to come out and do an estimate, kind of take a look, kind of
got
thing.
it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it can answer some, I imagine, fairly basic or complicated questions. I'm just trying to see where the limit is. I'm just curious
it
what
really,
the limit of
depends
technology
on
is.
how we prompt the AI. So we can give it a lot of information. If there are specific questions, I always tell clients, like, start with the things people ask you all the time, right? Because if you're answering those questions and being able to satisfy those quick questions with people, then get them on a call, and then you can take care of the more complicated stuff. We can prompt the AI with, like, frequently asked questions. We could create a document that has a lot more in-depth information about whatever their service industry is, the services they provide. But it really just depends on the business and how much how quickly they want the AI to push the potential client to a human interaction.
I mean, when you're out there talking to, home services businesses, are they like excited? Do they want to? Are they seeking you out, or are they kind of like,
I mean, I feel like a lot of people don't actually know that it exists.
Yeah.
I mean, AI has been around for a little bit now, with differing levels of, what's the word? Doing things correctly. I don't know how else to put that. I feel like in the last probably 4 to 6 months, it's kind of really turned a corner as far as this specific type of AI use case, for being able to have back and forth conversations. And, I was testing a build the other day, and it was for a plumber. And I said, some shingles came off my roof. I was trying to trick it. Some shingles came off my roof. And the AI said, oh, wow, that is cause for concern, or whatever terms it said. It said, we actually provide plumbing services. That sounds like you're probably going to need a roofer for that. Are there any plumbing services that we can? So it's gotten to the point where it can kind of connect the dots a lot better than it did.
Okay.
And it's only going to get better from here. But
that was my question. Is what if people ask questions that it doesn't know the answer to? Does it say I don't know the answer?
There's fail safes that we build in as well. If someone is like, I want to talk to a person, there's like it will push that off to an actual person. It's heavily prompted not to answer questions it doesn't know the answer to. If it doesn't know the answer, it's told to say, I don't actually know the answer. Right? Because we've seen that happen, right? A lot with AI. And I think it's getting to the point where we can finally kind of work that out. So I think a lot of people just don't know that it's a possibility. And, for service-based businesses who are run by one person, and even if they have a few employees, like they're the ones usually taking most of the calls. So being able to alleviate either having to get up from family dinner, or they're on a roof, or have their hands somewhere they can't answer the
call
phone,
with another client.
Hosting a podcast.
And that's another thing is the AI can handle multiple calls at once. So, normally you would have to please hold. It doesn't do that. So it can handle, you can call it from 6 different lines at once, and it will be having those conversations independently. So,
and then on the other end, for the customer that's calling into the roofer or the plumber, I mean, what's their response? Are they like, whoa, this is creepy, or I don't care, I just want to get my appointment booked?
I mean, I feel like it kind of varies. Most people are they understand AI is just a part of the world now. Moving forward, it's just going to be something that we're going to have to figure out and deal with as more and more things become kind of automated. But I really feel like most people wouldn't even know that they're talking to AI. Even with the lag, I mean, that's kind of the one thing when I've tested out some voice agents. Are you able to fix that, or? I mean, I don't know if fix it. It's definitely getting better with time. I think as the models improve, that piece of it will get a little bit better. I haven't found anybody that I've come across personally that has said like, this is horrible, I don't want to, like that. It just doesn't happen.
As long as it's better than my bank's AI. You want to talk about screaming in the phone at frustration? Agent! I want to talk to a person. You're not listening.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I know. That is frustrating. And all of those models, the older ones that don't use the AI component, the automations like that have existed for a long time, but it's based on a very strict set of keywords, right? You're telling it, tell me this word if this is what you're looking for. Well, if you have a problem outside that, the system is not built to handle that, whereas the AI can. The AI can react and use its knowledge and use the knowledge base that we've built for it to then say, okay, like the roofer thing, right? Where I threw it a curveball and I said, oh, well, some shingles came off my roof. And it said, we don't actually do roofing. We're plumbers. So you're going to probably need a roofer for that. But do you have any plumbing issues? And then I went on to say, oh, yeah, my toilet's leaking. That's
pretty good.
But the point was I was trying to I was trying to trick it. I was testing it, trying to see if
good.
it would
You
mess up.
should.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. People say crazy things all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
it's-
So true. So
is true.
So if anything ever gets out of hand, or again, the AI can't answer a question, it's prompted then to just pass it off to, say, hey, let me get your information and I will have someone from our company call you back to answer that question for you. So it takes a little bit of the like hesitation that someone, I guess, might feel. But once they see a demo and you actually see it live, you're usually like, okay, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's kind of a no-brainer then. Yeah. That's so cool.
I know. It's moving in the right direction,
I love it. I love it.
I mean, it beats having the call go to a call center in some country with people who you can't understand either.
Right.
So that works.
Yeah, or just, again, not answering at all because...
Which my guess is what most small businesses do, because the owners, the operator doing everything, they don't have a call center. They don't have anybody.
Right. And it's like, there's always this debate, like, do I pick up the phone after 5 o'clock? Because once I do that once, it's always the $500 customer, not the $5,000 customer, and he always wants to call me at like 4 o'clock on a Sunday to talk about his idea. So it would be nice to maybe have an AI agent to answer the phone outside those hours of operation.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, the value comes not just from, the personal, right? The business and the personal. They're both really important, especially to people who are running a business themselves. Yeah. And wearing all those hats,
That's so cool. Well, now I want to call one of your customers.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, I mean, it is exciting, and it's, we're in this new era of who knows what comes next. So, exciting to see that the technology is at a point now where it's not just really usable, but it's actually making, small business owners' lives better and their customers too.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Catherine. Really appreciate you coming on the show. I feel like I learned a lot in the last half hour. And I do appreciate that. And I'm sure we'll be seeing you around town a lot at our different networking events and things.
Absolutely. I love it.
Right on. All right.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.